Like these managers and these owners, they exploit you. It's just that simple. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. To those of you that are new, I'm Queen. And today's video, you guys, I'm actually going to be doing a actual book review on this book called Just a Tip. So if this is something that you guys think you'd be interested in watching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's just get straight into the video. Like I said, we're doing a book review on this book called Just a Tip. It's a memoir of a Las Vegas bottle girl by the name of Julia. So when her team reached out to me to do this, like, oh wow, this would be really interesting because I feel like when I read this book, it's gonna be so relatable. I worked, not anymore, I'm out of it now, but like I worked in nightlife for years, and I've done it up and down the East Coast. So it was very interesting, even though this girl, she's originally from the East Coast, but she moved to Cali and it's funny because she moved to Cali, became a Hooter girl. It always starts with Hooters. I used to be a Hooter girl. That's where it always starts. And then you move into the clubs. I don't know why, but it always just starts with Hooters. And so she started there, and then she moved to Vegas and became a bottle girl. So she was a bottle girl at for rehab, the Hard Rock Hotel, which also ended up being like a reality TV show. I actually had to look it up so I could see like clips from it. I only could find like clips of it so that I could just like see what it was all about. But basically she ended up being a bottle girl for this like day party club thing in Vegas. And then it turned into an opportunity for her to be like a really reality TV star. So it all went hand in hand. And then I know like towards the end of things, she ended up becoming like a VIP host. It's like very interesting to me because I feel like when I read the book, it's like weird because I'm trying to give you guys like the review of the book without telling you so that you could go get it and read it, because why not? Especially for my girlies, they work in nightlife or have worked in nightlife or whatever. It kind of like, for me, I know when I read it, it kind of like confirmed that I wasn't crazy. Because like one thing about nightlife is like a lot of people who haven't worked in nightlife before, they kind of think that your life working in nightlife is like a fantasy, and it's not that. It's not that. They think it's fun and all of that, but they don't understand how like mentally draining it is. And I also think too that when you work in places where the money level is different, like where you're dealing with real like millionaires, billionaires, those type of things, which are like environments like I work, or like, you know, you're around celebrities, athletes and stuff like that on a regular basis, which is like, you know, when I worked in nightlife or whatever, I had those same experiences such as she has had in her book. So it's like when that money level changes and you start like working in those type of environments around those type of people on a regular basis, it gets crazy, it gets dark. And like the general public, they just don't understand. They think like, oh, you work in a club, it's a party, it's a party. And it's like, oh my God, all you have to do is just go to work and be cute. And it's just that simple. No. One thing that really stood out to me is like her confirmation for me was like her like talking about like the politics that she would face like with the owners, the managers, you know, just for like the best sections as bottle girl, the best shifts, just a different foolishness like with the clients for money and stuff like that, and how some people like they bend their standards or whatever just for money or whatever. And I also like, it was just crazy to me how she also spoke about how like, you know, working in these scenes, especially because of the money level, like these managers and these owners, they exploit you. It's just that simple. Like I've experienced it. It's just, this is what they do. They exploit you, they use you, they verbally and mentally abuse you. I don't know, like I just found her book so relatable or whatever. Like even down to like when she was talking about like image standards, like I worked at places where there are image standards, you know, weight, hair, makeup. Like I've worked in places where when you're hired with certain hair, that's how they want your hair to stay. If you want to change anything, it has to be approved by management, corporate, or whoever. I worked at places where they expect you to be a certain way. It's a lot. And she talks about like all of these different things in the book. She also talks a lot about like how like, you know, like difficulties with dating, you know, building genuine relationships or whatever, you know, thinking that people like are your friends and they're not. And that's like honestly towards the end of like me working in nightlife, kind of try to like stay away from like getting too close to people or whatever in the lifestyle, because it could be a little bit too much and you just never know. Because a lot of times, not saying all the time, but a lot of times in those environments, especially when we get back to what I was saying before, the money level of things, when you're in environments where it's like a lot of money being involved, a lot of times or whatever, it's like opportunist friendships. It's not real. Not saying that it's not genuine friendships that could come out of it, because it can, but mostly it's opportunities. Like, what can you do for me and what can I do for you? We switch off, like, type of thing, like to get this money. Like, that's what it is. It's just what it is. And to me, I don't feel like that's a real friendship, because then when there's no money involved, or if one person can't benefit off the other, then there's no type of anything there. Another thing that, which is crazy, you guys, I'm telling you, you guys have to, like, if you ever worked in nightlife, or if you're thinking about working in nightlife, I promise you should read this. The thing that I liked about it was she kept everything very like short, brief. It wasn't like too draggy. She shared like some real experiences that I feel like maybe if you haven't worked in an environment in nightlife where you had like the real money there, or you're just getting started or whatever the case may be, you might be like, wow, are you kidding me? Did that really happen? Or it might shock you. But like for me, I've done it for a long time. And like I said, I've done it up and down the East Coast, and I've been around the athletes, the celebrities, the CEOs and stuff like that. And so I already know how it goes. I've had those people as clients, those sort of things or whatever. And so everything that she was saying in her book, it wasn't like shocking to me. I was more looking at it like, sounds about right. That's crazy, but yep, sounds about right. So it wasn't anything that like shocked me. And I'm sure that she like saw and experienced much more that of course she couldn't put in the book. But what I did really appreciate about it was because I feel like, especially for someone who may not ever worked in nightlife or haven't worked on that level of money, then it's a good book to like let you know what you're getting into. Absolutely, or whatever. So if you wanted a little warning, this is your warning. And it's nice because like I said, she doesn't go too much into things, but just enough so you could get a general idea of what really goes down and what to expect, and you could just take it from there. But like I said, being that I already have done it, it wasn't anything shocking for me or whatever. But what I did appreciate a lot from it was because sometimes I'll sit back and I feel like what I liked a lot about this book and I found so relatable was like her perspective on things, even the title, just the tip. She went into things always about the money. And that's how I always was. I never cared about the attention. I never cared about the hype. I never cared about, oh my God, like such and such and such and such. It's like if you end up being a cool person and you're whoever you are and you end up being cool, nice, or a good customer, cool. But if not, then it's like whatever. And then one thing about me is like I always treat everybody the same. Like in my experiences, I always give everybody like the same level of customer service. She mentioned it in this book one time that she waited on a rapper and his whole little entourage and they didn't tip her nothing. And the thing about it is, it's so funny because a lot of times with these celebrities or whatever, especially like I had a rapper, and I'm not gonna say his name or whatever, but I've had a rapper before, whatever, that a lot of people like, and on like Instagram and stuff like that, he like acts like he's like that and all of that, and like he tipped me $40. So I think in a book she said this particular rapper tipped her $30. Yeah, I think it was something like that. So like you can't always just assume just because, you know, somebody is supposed to be whoever that they're gonna like tip you this big amount. So that was really good too. Yeah, so it's funny because I just love that it was like she wrote a book and it was just like for me so relatable because everything with her was always about the money. and just wanting to be like have financial freedom and just be able to like enjoy life with the money she was making. And she never was really caught up in it. It looks all glamorous from the outside, just like Julia said, but let me tell you, it's not always like that. And they like I said, and like she was saying in the book, they will exploit, use, verbally and mentally abuse you. And she told no lie in the book. And I feel like the book is a really good read because, like I said, if you have not ever worked in nightlife, you should definitely read it. You could get just an idea, because one thing in here that like, ooh, it kind of triggered me too, because it's happened to me before, was she mentioned like, she mentioned, I'm just gonna say this one thing because like I know like I'm not gonna name other incidents that happened because you guys gotta get the book and read it. But she did mention that one thing was like basically the managers kind of like stole money from her. That's the only thing that I'm gonna actually tell you guys as far as real scenario that happened, because you gotta get the book and read it. But yeah, so like I've had that happen to me before, but it was like the manager just took my money. And it was not once, it's happened to me multiple times. And when you get into these clubs like this, it will happen. Especially when you're the person that just goes to work. Like if you're not doing no little side favors or messing with this person and that person for favoritism and stuff like that, that's how it goes, whatever. And that's that. So it's sad, but that's just the real honest truth of it or whatever. And yeah, that's what happens. Whatever they feel like, because you're not doing side stuff that you owe them, so they just take it upon themselves to just treat you any kind of way and just steal from you. But whatever, yeah, it's a hot mess. So it was just crazy because it's like she spoke about that in the book, or like how I'm saying it wasn't the particular situation, but I'm sure that that's one of the reasons why it happened, because she wasn't that type of girl. And yeah, and because I know that because I wasn't that kind of girl, and so it used to happen to me, and it's just sad that it's like that. Another thing that I thought was like a good point that she brought up was like most like 9-to-5s are not paying $1,000 or more a day for you going there. And when you start getting into these type of like levels of clubs, that's what the money will look like. This girl, she was all about just getting her money, and I felt it I felt her completely, because that's all I have ever been about. I never cared about like, oh my gosh, like the attention, like Instagram hypes it up to be a bottle girl, a bartender, anything like that. I've done both, mostly bartending, but I did do bottle service before as well. And I just never cared about anything but the money. I didn't care about these people that came in, how much money they had, or trying to be on the scene, and none of that. I just cared about the money, just as Julia did. So what I will say, you guys, is the book is a great read. Like I said, it's a really great book because I feel like it's interesting, super down to earth, super realistic, relatable. And it's not too long. Like the chapters are nice and short, straight to the point, especially for something like this. You know what I mean? I think she did a really great job at just getting to the point, giving us a little bit, not too much or whatever, but just enough. And it was still very interesting and relatable. And I just think that she did a really, really great job with this book. And I just want to say a special thanks to Julia and her team. Thank you for sending the copy over to me. I thought it was like a really good read. I found it very relatable, and I would definitely recommend anyone that's looking to get into nightlife, or anyone who's worked in nightlife, you should definitely check out Just the Tip. So I hope you really did enjoy this video today. If you've ever worked in nightlife, or you're looking, to work in nightlife, if you have any questions, you can leave down in the comments. And if you did work in nightlife, you know what? Leave it down in the comments how your experience was, good, bad, or whatever, because, I want to hear it. And like I said, you guys, I hope you really did enjoy this video. And if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, guys. Bye.